Michelle Wee is Kia's official golf ambassador in the United States. This is a picture from a recent event that Kia sponsored at Industry Hills in California. And Michelle offers us another young opportunity to go after and speak to a different demographic that candidly Kia never spoke to previously, and that's the golfer. And it's really worked out nicely for us. She's also been in a Soul commercial for us. She drives a Soul, and in fact, we use some music from her personal iPod in the commercial. Kia in racing, something that is brand new in the last year and a half. We decided to take Forte to the track. We believed it was the right car for the track, and we really put together a nice racing team. We did this in a small way, just 2 cars, a couple drivers. And what's been absolutely exciting for us is not only to test the endurance of Forte on the track and learn from it for our own product development, but also that this year we had our first place finish, which others in the industry tell us is beyond fast for your second year in racing to have a first place finish. We see this as a continued opportunity to speak to a totally different demographic and to test our vehicles and to learn from them. What's next? More premium features, and that is something, if you take a close look at Kia, you can see how we are connecting those dots on value. There are many consumers out there that perhaps are driving luxury, near luxury vehicles that no longer feel that that payment fits where they're at in the economy right now. So what we've decided is if we offered cooled seats, heated steering wheel, panoramic moonroofs, voice-activated navigation, surround sound stereo systems, Bluetooth, and the like, it makes it more comfortable for that transition, and that's primarily the reason why we're seeing these customers come in and drive away with Kias, because it is an easy transition. Other technologies we're working on that are coming out soon, stop-start technology for fuel efficiency, Yuvo, Your Voice powered by Microsoft, which is hands-free technology for stereo, telephone, etc. That is now on the Optima Hybrid, that's for sale, as well as the 2012 Sorento that started arriving at dealerships a few weeks ago, and we'll start putting that on the rest of our lineup as we bring out the 2012 models. And of course, world-class design. We talked about Peter Schreier, we talked about the bold new designs and the transformation by design for the entire brand. That's a picture of a concept of the minivan. Right now, the minivan is one of the last vehicles that has not yet been redesigned. We showed this at some auto shows, and directionally, if you look at many of our past auto show vehicles, you see a tremendous amount of similarity in what comes out later on. All new 2012 Rio and Rio 5. This is a very significant vehicle. We always had a Rio. It was always our best value, smallest vehicle in the lineup. The difference is when you look at this and it's coming out in the fall, is it not only gets 40 miles per gallon, it not only has best-in-class horsepower, and it may be hard to tell from these pictures, but when we had an opportunity to show it to a group of press in California recently, they thought it had best-in-class looks as well. It looks very expensive for a small car. It looks fun and stylish, just like the rest of our Kia lineup, and we're real excited when this car debts in the fall. 2012 Soul. So here's the question. What do you do to continue to make Soul a hit? Well, the last 3 months have been the best months in the history of the company for Soul sales, selling in excess of 10,000 a month, more than the 2 next closest competitors combined. But the question at Kia that we have every day is, when we have a hot product like that, how do we keep it hot beyond great advertising and marketing with the hip-hop hamsters, which have a life of their own? So what we're doing in the 4th quarter is introducing a refreshed Soul less than 2 years after introducing the vehicle. It will have significantly more horsepower, significantly more fuel efficiency, up to 34 miles per gallon. It's going to have slightly revised front end and back end, new tires and rims. It's going to have a new interior, and for the first time we'll offer navigation, rear backup camera, and some other features. And really what we're doing is we're making it more powerful, quieter at highway speeds, but at the same time being very, very cognizant and listening to our customer base that's saying to us, don't blow it up and bloat it up. Keep it just like the Soul that we love. Keep it fresh, small, keep the hamsters going with it, and that's what we're doing. So, 2011 Optima Hybrid, we talked about that earlier. It's an advanced lithium polymer battery. It's co-developed with LG. Transmission mounted electric drive, 206 total horsepower with 40 horsepower electric, 6-speed automatic transmission. We also have a 6-speed in the non-hybrid. And the first Kia to offer UVO powered by Microsoft. The vehicle starts at $26,500, tops out around $31,500. And again, it just went on sale, so we're excited to watch that pace. And that wraps up our presentation to you today, and I'd like to invite up Steve Kosowski from our product planning department and open up to any questions that you may have. Yes?
First of all, congratulations on your terrific story. You built really nice cars you talked about eventually. I wanted to know why you formula, why safety is not a component of the formula in cars so well, government and insurance.
Sure. Sure. The question was, why was safety not part of the value formula? It's a great question, and the answer is that safety is first and foremost, before we get to the value formula, part of the Kia DNA. The fact is, if you look at our vehicles, every new vehicle we've been developing is coming out with a 5-star safety rating. They're winning safety awards all over the board, and the reason for that is that we've made the commitment internally that we don't want to introduce vehicles without doing everything possible to deliver 5-star safety ratings in every category as really part of the fabric of who we are. So that's the reason why. Sure. Yep, great question. The question, to repeat, is why not let people know that we have really safe cars? And actually, it is something that we are focusing more and more on our advertising. If you look at the end of most of our advertising, it almost always states when it's received a 5-star safety rating. We also did just recently run a safety commercial that used to show the Sedona crash testing and earning those highest awards that any minivan had ever received at that point. And I will say to you that, because it's a great point, we're very proud of our safety record, and I think that you will see more and more us highlighting that safety in our TV commercials. So we agree with you. We think it's something to be proud of and something to talk about. So you will see more communication. Yes?
Is there a sibling rivalry between you and Hyundai? Did your pie chart of, you say you were focusing on the meat of the tomato, for lack of a better expression. Do you secretly long for Equus and Genesis to kind of complete the portfolio and, kind of take a little bit of thunder away from your corporate cousin?
Well, first, let me say that we run as two separate companies in the United States, even though, obviously, one company does ultimately own both over in Korea. We have separate headquarters, separate sales and marketing departments, separate product development departments, separate design departments, as separate as two companies could possibly be, who on paper are owned by the same company. So we actually see our sister company as a company that is a key competitor to us. And as such, we don't talk. We each go our own direction. Our sister company, Hyundai, is really moving up market, as you mentioned, with the Equus luxury sedans and the Genesis. Kia is more focused right now on young, sporty, value-oriented, cool cars that make sense for most people's lifestyles. Are there other segments that we always have our eye on? Of course. But when we look at the pie charts, very specifically, that's where we're putting our effort right now, into those segments. Yes, Albert. Sure. The question was, do we have any plans to introduce sports cars? Right now, we have the Kia Forte Coupe, two-door coupe, which, and with an SX option on it, which has been extremely well received. But beyond that, What I will say is what Peter Schreier, our head designer, has been quoted as saying, which is that we do think that there's room to study other sporty cars for the brand. It is something we're looking at, but at this point in time, we're just in the study mode. Yes? Sure. The question was, how much of our dramatic growth this year would we attribute to the Japanese tsunami and the loss of production for some of those key competitors? And you know, what I would say to you is this. First of all, I just want to reiterate again that what happened over there is beyond unfortunate, and our sympathy and thoughts are with all the people in Japan and the companies. And we hope that that turns around for everybody in the shortest possible time. With that said, if you look at last year, we already had dramatic growth last year. Last year in 2010 was the best year in the history of the company. We were introducing new products. We had more coming. We had momentum in the marketplace. We had already captured our best market share month of the year and our best market share year. And then before the tsunami happened this year, we were already up close to 20%. The fact that we're up 44.5% now, we believe is attributable to the new Optima, Sorento going over 100,000 sales, Soul having over 10,000 sales a month for the first time. So we had great momentum in the marketplace. The products are hitting at the right time, and we believe the design-led transformation has been really the critical contributor to that. Yes? You mean the hybrid as well? The hybrid will still be made overseas in Seoul or in Korea. The rest of the Optima lineup will be made here in Georgia. So
Seoul 2012, those like new gadgets, they're going to raise up a little bit the price, like the navigation system, the back camera, and all the stuff, so they're going to raise up the price, or it's going to stay the same way?
Well, the value story that people are accustomed to with Soul is directionally where we'll stay. From a standpoint of extra features that aren't available right now, like navigations, those will be incremental options that are available to people, obviously. But the value story that you see today on Soul is expected to stay right in that area.
Okay, so the new technology of the hybrid, if it succeeds, it's going to move to this market, or we're going to keep it just on top?
At this point in time, we have not announced or are prepared to announce other future hybrid programs. We're going to study the Optima success. We're going to study the consumer feedback very carefully, like we do with all of our vehicles, before we make any decisions about where and if we want to take that technology next. But what I will say to you is that internally, we certainly have a strong commitment to being green and to looking at other green alternatives. And I think the more compelling story right now is when you take a look at the Soul, that we're increasing the fuel efficiency pretty significantly year over year without that hybrid technology. The other thing that I didn't mention yet is the 2012 Sorento. It's in year 2 of production. I think everyone in the room knows that year 2 of a brand new model, most of our competitors do not make many changes. It's too expensive. We decided to do something completely different. We sold 108,000 last year. We recognize, to your point, that fuel efficiency is top of mind, and that's not going to change. So we went back and on the 2012 Sorento introduced a third optional engine. It's a 4-cylinder GDI engine. It has approximately 18 additional horsepower and 3 miles per gallon more fuel economy. So it goes from 29 to 32, matching best-in-class fuel economy. That's year 2 of a brand new vehicle, and that is in addition to, on our higher trim models, offering for the first time in the 2012 Sorento, cool driver's seat, heated steering wheel, as just a couple additional luxury items. So we're very committed at Kia to having a very fuel-efficient lineup and taking non-hybrid and hybrid and maximizing that with new technology.